session, we are going to discuss the polymers. Content. We are going to discuss the introduction of polymers, then classification of polymers, properties of polymers, then advantages and applications of polymers in formulation of controlled release drug delivery systems. Let us see the learning objectives. You will be able to define polymer, you will be able to classify polymers, you will be able to describe the properties of polymers, you will be able to write the advantages of polymers, you will be able to use the polymers for designing of controlled release drug delivery. So you will be able to define polymer, what is mean by the polymer, what is mean by the monomer. Then you will be able to classify the polymers, say for example the natural polymers and synthetic polymers. Be able to describe properties of polymers. There are some important properties are there and which needs to be considered while designing of the any drug delivery system or the controlled drug delivery system, isn't it? So there is a need to consider, need to understand the various properties of polymers which are useful for the designing of controlled drug delivery system. Then after that you will be able to write the advantages of polymers in the development of various drug delivery systems or development of controlled drug delivery systems. Then you will be able to choose the polymers for designing of controlled drug delivery systems, controlled release drug delivery systems. So that you will be able to select the particular polymer for designing of controlled drug delivery system. As the polymer topic, it's a very vast topic and it is not at all possible to cover each and every point of the polymer. We are going to discuss, we are going to consider only the points which are related with the designing of controlled drug delivery systems. So let us move towards the introduction. Before starting the discussion on the polymer, there is a need to understand the term that is the monomer. What is mean by the monomer? Monomer, these are the small molecules, isn't it? That is known as the monomers. So mono stands for the single, mer stands for the single part, isn't it? So that the small molecules, it is known as the monomers. Then what is a polymer? Polymer, these are the large molecules or the macromolecules. Generally, these are the macromolecules like polysaccharides, like proteins, say for example albumin. Okay, so the poly stands for many and mer stands for the single part. When the monomer join together, then there is a formation of the polymer. So this is the polymer. When monomer linked together, there we are getting the polymer. So monomer linked together to give the polymer. So this is the monomer, that is the small molecules. When these small molecules are joined together by the polymerization, we will get the polymer. So polymers are the high molecular weight compounds or the macromolecules composed of many repeating subunits. So these are the repeating subunits called monomers and connected by the covalent bonds or the chemical bonds, that is known as the polymers. So what are the polymers? Polymers are the high molecular weight compounds or macromolecules composed of many repeating subunits called monomers connected by the covalent bond or chemical bond that is known as the polymer. So monomers, by the polymerization, these monomers are joined together by the covalent bonds or the chemical bonds that is known as the polymer. So monomer, these are the small molecules. Mono stands for single, mer stands for single part. So this is the monomer. Polymer, these are the large molecules or the macromolecules, isn't it? Poly stands for many, mer stands for single part. So this is the polymers. When monomer linked together, it gives the polymer, isn't it? So polymers are the high molecular weight compounds or macromolecules composed of many repeating subunits called monomer connected by covalent bonds or the chemical bonds, isn't it? That is known as the polymer. As we have seen that the polymerization, it is responsible to get the polymer from the monomer. So let us see what is mean by the polymerization. So polymerization, it is the process of formation of macromolecules by linking number of monomers together. Say for example, vinyl chloride. By polymerization, we will get the polyvinyl chloride, isn't it? So the polymerization, it is the process of formation of macromolecules by linking number of monomers together that is known as the polymerization. When vinyl chloride polymerized, we will get the polyvinyl chloride. It's a synthetic polymer. There is one terminology or one parameter related with the polymer. It is very important, and that is known as the degree of polymerization. The degree of polymerization, it decides the physicochemical properties of the polymer. Here we are using monomers to get the polymer by using the polymerization reaction. It may be addition reaction, isn't it? So what is mean by the degree of polymerization? As I have said that it is one of the important parameters which will be responsible for the physicochemical properties of the polymer. So degree of polymerization, it means that the average molecular weight of the polymer divided by molecular weight of the monomer, that is known as the dP or degree of polymerization. The degree of polymerization decides the physicochemical properties of the polymer. By changing the degree of polymerization of polymer, it is possible to get the tailor-made polymers according to our need. It is possible to get from low molecular weight polymer to the high molecular weight polymer, which is having the different physicochemical properties and having the different applications in the pharmaceutical formulation. So this is about the degree of polymerization. So the macromolecules are formed by linking of repeating units to the covalent bonds in the main backbone. As we are discussing the polymer, so these are the monomer, different monomers are there. As you are observing the different color, green, blue, then purple, then orange. So when these monomers are joined together by polymerization, we will get due to the covalent bonds to the main backbone that is known as the macromolecules, and these macromolecules are having the high molecular weight. The properties of polymer or the macromolecules, these are determined by the length, molecular weight, backbone structure and side chains. So these are some of the important properties which are very important, which decides the polymer properties, isn't it? So these properties are, that is the length of the chain, then the molecular weight of the polymer, then the backbone structure and the side chains which are present on the polymer. So whatever the resulting macromolecule is there, when the monomers are joined together, they are having the huge molecular weight, which is ranging between 1 lakhs to the 10 lakhs approximately, or it may be more than that also. Okay, so this is about the polymers or the macromolecules. Let us move towards the characteristics of the ideal polymer. Before starting the discussion on the further points like classification and properties, there is a need to see the characteristics of the ideal polymer, how it should be actually. While selecting the polymer, there is a need to consider the certain points related with the polymer, because we are using the polymers for the development of various drug delivery systems, isn't it? So the polymer which is selected for the drug delivery system, it should be versatile and possess a wide range of mechanical, physical and chemical properties. That is one of the important point which needs to be considered, that is polymer should be versatile and possesses a wide range of mechanical, physical and chemical properties. It should be non-toxic, isn't it? It should be non-toxic and have good mechanical strength and should be easily administered by specific route of administration. It should be inexpensive. Simply, it should be cheap, isn't it? It should be easy to fabricate, easy to synthesize. It should be inert to the host tissue and compatible with the environment. So whatever polymer we are selecting or whatever the polymer is there, it should be inert in nature towards the host tissue and compatible with the environment. That is, it should be eco-friendly, isn't it? Green. Polymer should be the green. It should be biodegradable. The biodegradability of polymer, it is very, very important thing when we are using it for the development of the controlled drug delivery systems. Characteristics of the ideal polymer, that is polymer should be versatile and possess a wide range of mechanical, physical and chemical properties. It should be non-toxic and have good mechanical strength and should be easily administered. It should be inexpensive. It should be easy to fabricate, easy to synthesize. It should be inert to host tissue and compatible with the environment. That is the biocompatibility of the polymer. It is very, very important thing. If the polymer is not biocompatible, it is not possible to use for the development of controlled drug delivery system. It should be biodegradable, isn't it? So these are the few properties of the polymer we should consider while choosing the polymer for the development of controlled drug delivery system. Let us move towards the next point, that is the classification of polymer. So polymers are classified according to their chain structure, according to the chemical composition, according to polymer architecture, according to source and according to the backbone. So in this way it is possible to classify the polymer. Here I have shown the broad classification of the polymer based on origin or the source, based on the structure, based on molecular forces and based on mode of polymerization. We are going to discuss only the classification of polymer according to chain structure, chemical composition, polymer architecture, source and backbone. Let us see how to classify the polymer according to their origin or the source. According to their origin or the source, polymers can be classified as natural polymers, for example, guar gum, semi-synthetic polymers, for example, carboxymethyl cellulose, synthetic polymers like polyvinyl pyrrolidine. Then based on the structures, it can be classified as linear polymers, branched chain polymers and cross-linked polymers. So depending on the linearity to cross-linking, the swelling of polymer, it is going to change. Generally, the cross-linked polymers are having high capacity to retain the fluid into the structure, into the matrix. Based on the molecular forces are very, very important one. These are related with we can correlate these things with the thermal properties of polymer, and it can be classified as elastomers, fibers, thermoplastics, and thermosetting polymers. And based on mode of polymerization, it can be furthermore classified into the addition polymers and condensation polymers. So these are the methods by which the polymers are prepared. That is, based on modes of polymerization, it can be classified as addition polymers and the condensation polymers. So the polymers can be classified broadly as according to their source, according to their structure, according to the molecular forces, according to mode of polymerization. We are going to discuss the classification of polymers according to their chain structure, according to chemical composition, according to polymer architecture, according to source, according to backbone, and also it is possible to classify the polymers according to their degradation, that is biodegradable and non-degradable polymers, isn't it? So this is the broad classification of the polymers.